Mazda has redesigned the CX-5. This is the third generation, all new 2026 Mazda CX-5. It's 4.5 inches longer, it's taller, it's wider, it has more people room. Mazda did a lot of changes, specifically, of course, in the interior, and as you can see, the exterior. This is finished in Soul Red Crystal Metallic, which is absolutely beautiful and Mazda's most premium color. Base price, sticker price for this tester is about $41,000 as tested. All-wheel drive is standard. I'm gonna talk about it, review it, go over all the specs and features and all the changes that Mazda did. Stay tuned, that's coming up next. And before I continue, I wanna give a big thank you to Mazda for allowing me to have this CX-5 in my home test area for me to live with and review for you guys. Thank you very much, Mazda, and thank you all for watching and liking and sharing my videos. Stay tuned, that's coming up. Okay, let's talk 2026 Mazda CX-5. And let's start with the front end. The face is 100% unequivocally, CX-5. Of course, the front end got completely redesigned. The headlights, as you guys can see, got moved to the middle. Upper trims have a matte finish with the chrome, what used to be chrome in the older models. The emblem shrunk a little bit, got a little smaller. And for me, this is a very special vehicle because I've lived with one. As you can see, the headlights are different. You got this little daytime running light and turn signal signature, and it's blinking on camera, but it doesn't do that. It's not flickering, and it doesn't flicker in real life. And that's your low and high beam adaptive lighting, which goes this way. This is what the key looks like, which Mazda's been using this key for quite some time now. So lock, unlock, trunk release, panic is on the side. And let's look at it. It's a looker. It's definitely a looker. Mazda's design language is very, very nice. This, of course, is finished in Soul Red Crystal Metallic, which is Mazda's best color and most premium color. Wheels are 19-inch, wrapped in Toyo open country tires. The specs are the same as the previous generation. And let me see if I can find it, which is 225/55, wrapped in 19-inch tires. This upper trim has chrome, shiny black plastic on the trim, the mirrors. My tester again has a 360 camera, so there is a camera underneath each mirror. And one thing very nicely done that Mazda did, it now has a panoramic sunroof, which we'll go over in the interior section. It is a little bit taller, it is a little bit wider. The doors open also bigger. And back here, as you guys can see, gone is the Mazda emblem. The taillights are completely different as well. They kind of remind me a little bit of its sibling, the CX-90 and the CX-70, which are both the same cars, but I do like it. Everything's LED, the turn signals, brake light, reverse light, everything's LED. The wipers, the wiper actually shrunk a little bit, got a little bit smaller in size. The spoiler is a little different. The third brake light is also larger. And as you guys can see, the back end now says Mazda. And chrome finish on the bottom of the bumper. Let's open the cargo area real quick. Now that we're back here, we'll go over the interior section in a bit, but it is bigger back here. There's definitely more room. The seats they still fold 40, 20, 60 split, so they do fold completely independently. And something that it's kind of hilarious to mention this in modern day cars, to get my stuff out of the way, it still has a spare tire and a jack. You still get a jack, you still get a spare tire. It's a 19-inch donut, but nonetheless, you still get a spare tire. You do have little cubbies here. This folds the seats down. So if you press this right here, you can fold the seat like so. And here, which is super convenient. The only thing that I've noticed as a Mazda owner myself is there used to be one more lever to fold down the middle. So Mazda removed that for some reason, but nonetheless, you can still fold the middle one from the seat itself. You do get little speakers back here, and this attaches now differently than before. Before it used to go up into the hatch, which doesn't do that anymore. And speaking of the hatch, now, which is nice, a nice little touch, is you can lock the vehicle and walk away, and not only would it lock the car, but it also closes the hatch. Here's a quick look of the profile. It's a good looker. The CX-5 was always a good looking vehicle, and fun fact, last year Mazda had almost the best sale ever of the CX-5. And keep in mind, the design of the CX-5, the 2025, has been around since 2017. And here's another fun fact. This particular tester is number 78 of the production line. So this is a very, very early production version of the CX-5, which is pretty cool. As a YouTuber, it's kind of cool to review a very early pre-production or production vehicle. All right, let's take a look at the engine bay. Let me quickly spin around here before we go inside and look at the major differences in the interior. And everybody's losing their minds, which we'll go over in the driving section later, about the CX-5 being slower. Well, here's a news flash. It's not slower. It feels exactly the same because it has the exact same 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine, making 187 horsepower and 186 pound-feet of torque, made it to a tried and true 6-speed automatic. My engine, my car has been bulletproof reliable since new. I have 119,000 miles on my CX-5, and I've done spark plugs twice. This is a very reliable powertrain, and which is why Mazda kept it. So on that note, let's go inside real quick. Let's talk about the tech, the interior, the new interior features, and then we go for a quick drive and final thoughts. Stay tuned for that. Before we go in the interior, I want to add a quick thing. The hatch also now has this where you can put your feet down, and let's see if I do it again. It should open, and it's making me look bad. I don't know where the sensor is, but there it goes. And voila, that opens now. So if you have your hands full, you can come and do the little foot dance, and the hatch will open. And of course, you could just press the button right here and walk away, and it closes by itself. All right, let's step inside and go over the tech and the features. Stay tuned for that. Okay, getting inside the CX-5 is a very simple affair. You could of course do it two ways. You could do it with obviously the key. You can just press unlock right here, but new for 2026, which I appreciate, and it's very, very nice, is you could just put your hand on the door handle, the mirrors unfold, and now the button is integrated into the door handle like that, versus the previous generation where it actually had a button. Sadly, it's only on the front two doors, not the rear, but that's okay. And let's step inside. Materials are nice. I will go over in detail as a current owner of a second generation CX-5. Mazda did some cutbacks on the interior, unfortunately. Maybe, who knows why they did that, but I'm gonna take a guess because of the tariffs. This vehicle is made in Japan, so you have to cut corners somewhere to bring the cost low. But overall, they're okay. They're a little harder than the previous generation. This right here is also a little hard. This used to be leather. It's no longer leather. It's just hard plastic. But this right here is soft. The controls that got redesigned. This is now, I like the flat black door handles here, door locks, everything got removed. And the seats. The seats are 100% more comfortable than the previous generation. As you guys can know, I noticed that immediately, even before I even drove off, how much comfortable they are, because Mazda reduced the bolster size. So these are very comfortable, very soft and plush. Of course, both seats are power and with two-way lumbar support, and super comfortable. Buttons are very limited, which we'll go over in a second, but this opens a trunk, and this is like the safety surround system, and you got two blanks here. And CX-5s now have knee airbags. I don't know if they all had knee airbags, but let's step inside. And this is a very nice place to be. As you guys can see, the biggest change for 2026 is this ginormous 15.9 screen. Let me turn on the car so you guys can see what that looks like. And also, don't mind that beep. That does that. I don't know why it does that, but also new for 2026 and every single trim is this. The instrument cluster is now a 10.5 inch screen in every trim. Also, Mazda gives you all-wheel drive as standard. And there it is. This guy is basically a laptop. It's huge. There's no way to put it. It's huge. Let me just, for context, you guys can see, it's flickering on video. It doesn't do that in real life, but this is the backup camera view. You have multiple views here. You could do this, kind of like a fisheye. This is kind of like a 3D under the car thing. So if I drive backwards, you guys will see, let me make sure nobody comes and hits me. You guys can see that underneath it starts filling in, and it kind of, you know, if you put it forward, then it changes to the front facing camera. You can also change the view to that as well. So super, super useful technology. There's the mirror cams. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then when you're parked, and then you should press the camera button on the steering wheel. Let me do that again. There it goes. And then you can do this. You can also spin the car around. In this particular image, it's not the same color as the car. And it's pretty cool. I gotta say, the resolution is excellent. It's very good. Also, this new screen does run, it's running Google built in. What that means is it's basically Android Automotive. So this is native Google Maps, which will come when you buy the vehicle. You do get a data plan for 1 year. It's very responsive, super easy, and it has all the Google integration into the vehicle, of course. So you have Google Assistant built in, so you can say things like, hey Google, set temperature to 65 degrees.
Sure, changing the temperature for the front to 65 degrees.
And there you go. You could do things like that. You can also tell it, hey Google, turn on driver's side cooling seat.
Sorry, I can't control that in this car.
Okay, so it did not do that, but you can control them by pressing this very small icons, which that's something that Mazda can fix over the air, but nonetheless, they're very small. As you can see right here, I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but you have the heated seat, the cooling seat, and then the heated steering wheel all there. When you press it, then it brings it up. So this is where you activate the cooling, the heating, the heated steering wheel. You can make everything auto, which will do its thing by itself. The resolution is excellent. And I'm gonna say it, as someone who enjoys buttons, I'm just gonna flat out say it. I think Mazda should have kept the physical climate controls that were here in the previous generation. They were down here. They were so nice, tactile. Also, they could have kept the volume knob. I'm happy that they got rid of the piano black. That's an excellent win that they got rid of that. So no more piano black anywhere. Everything is very, very matte black kind of thing. But definitely right here, you could have kept the volume knob right here. The cup holders moved from the back to the front. So they're right here. You do have a space. This looks like it would be the wireless charger, but it's not. The wireless charger is actually here in front of the new split level center console. You do have two USB-C ports in there. Let me see if the camera can focus. But yeah, there's two USB-C ports in there, and then the mapping data information's in there. Not the biggest thing, but it's sufficient. It does the job. I have a cable there just for context purposes. I like this little bifold. It is comfortable. The leather is very soft again, like I said. Materials, like I said, it is a mixed bag. Unfortunately, they did have to cut some corners because sadly they're probably getting hit with tires. And Mazda emblem is gone. Now it's just Mazda spelled out. On the left side, you have controls for the infotainment screen, the instrument cluster, excuse me, and you can change the way it looks with this button right here. So you press that right now, that's the active driving display. And if you press it again, that's like the compass and instant miles per gallon screen. On the left hand side, you have the RPM and the miles per hour and the parking gear indicator and the outside temperature. And on the right hand side, of course, you have your fuel gauge, the active driving and miles remaining. It will give you notification, for example, if you have a phone calls coming in, turn-by-turn navigation will be displayed on the screen. And this is the calm screen. So if you don't want anything to show up and you want a not so busy screen, you can just set it to that calm screen, and that's how it looks like. And this is new for the CX-5. This is the driver attention monitor system. What that does is there's sensors in there paying attention to your eyes, making sure you're paying attention to the road. And yeah. Oh, and then on the right hand side of the wheel, because Mazda got rid of the mode selector, the MI drive, so that's all here now. And you can just, as you can see, when you press it, you have sport, normal, off-road, which you can control. As you can see, the little animation for each mode there. And you could do normal, and then you could do sport, where it gets all red and, you know, performance-y ready. Normal sport is fine. Here is the active driving screen, which if the phone can focus, sorry about that. There you go. So if the active driving the screen, so here you can turn on and off all the various safety systems. You got traffic sign recognition, the low speed warning, driver attention monitor, blind spot warning on and off, the smart brake status support, the smart brake support system. Everything is in the screen. And then here, even the driver seat memory was removed, which used to be on the old one. It used to be right here. They got rid of that from the door, from the seat, and now it's here. And one thing I gotta say, because I did submit my survey to Mazda, they do listen to customer feedback. The reason I say that is because in the previous generation, the memory was not linked to the mirrors. It was linked to the head-up display. And speaking quickly of the head-up display, it's hard to pick up on camera, but it is larger. The resolution is clearer, sharper, bigger. They made it better, in my opinion. They made it better than my generation, because I have the Premium Plus 2019. But this is how you adjust and set your memory. This is kind of like Mazda's posture control. So it tells you based on your weight and your height and everything, how to adjust for best driving position. But if I do this, it's moving my seat and setting it back to how I have it, which is pretty cool. This system is upgradable over the air. It does have wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. I'm not using Android Auto now because I am filming on my phone, so I don't display, but Google Maps is there, and then you guys can see that little representation of the car, which is kind of funny. If you turn on the lights and everything, it even shows the lights on the car. You could spin it around, which is a little silly that you have that. Another interesting thing that I noticed, the odometer, which is what this guy here, let me see if I can get the focus. This guy here, usually, which this car has 1,083 miles, that's usually in the cluster, but it's gone from the cluster and in the screen. It took me a little bit to find it, and I was like, where's the mileage of this car? So this screen is like a phone. You can swipe down. You can also, if you want to expand the climate control, sadly, they're on the screen. You can, and see if it can focus. There it goes. Everything's all blacked out, but you can control everything here and swipe back down again, press the home screen. This vehicle does have apps. You do have access to the Play Store. If you set up a Google account to it, it will give you all that stuff in here. You go to the Play Store. It's not going to do anything now because this is a press vehicle, so which means you need an active data connection to it. That's why it's spinning and not doing anything. If this is your personal vehicle, it will of course work, but you can hotspot it to your phone, and then all the stuff will work just fine. See, you can have YouTube, you have Waze. You can watch YouTube when you're not moving, when you're parked. This is the i-Activ screen. So this is just when you're on cruise control, it shows you what's going on. And again, this is hilarious how you see the little representation of the car. If I brake, it brakes, which is funny. Here is the maintenance screen, notifications, maintenance details. Finally, Mazda added tire pressure sensors individually, which is very, very useful instead of just a little light that all generations have. Version information, which I believe this is just the version of the car. Roadside assistance, which this, when you do this, it starts asking to want access to your phone to call. Efficiency screens, this is how well you're driving. I was getting about 35 miles per gallon, which is excellent for something this big. Again, the CX-5 is a little bigger. It's 4.5 inches longer, which we'll see that in the rear passenger space. And that's pretty much it up front. Super easy. Again, very straightforward. It will take a little getting used to. Most of it because there is not that many buttons. The only buttons that are here are the electronic parking brake, auto brake hold. You have the hazard button, which does that now. The front defrost, rear defrost, and that's it. Everything is on this screen. And before we continue to the back, glove box is a decent size. Also, this vehicle now has, which is very nice, can't show it on camera now, ambient lighting, which comes out very nicely here. You can change the colors and on that door there and on the feet. So let me see if I can go to the ambient lighting screen. Let me go to vehicle here, interior. Oh, here we go. Ambient lighting. So you can, interior lighting, and it also shines from up here. So you shine a little white light down. Ambient lighting, you can do the colors. Let's see if I can do back to the ambient lighting. And yes, you can do all these different colors for the ambient lighting. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different colors, which is cool. CX-5 never had that capability. Another cool feature that this has, which is kind of like out of luxury vehicles, is you can set everything to auto. My apologies for everything looking dark, but meaning if you set the climate control, the seats will be auto. So if I press the seat here, I think it's set to auto now. Everything's auto. The steering wheel will be auto, which means it will regulate the temperature of the seats, the steering wheel, based on whatever climate control you have it set to, which is super cool. It's super cool technology. This is how you turn on and off the fan speed, temperature. Volume is actually over here. That's where you control the volume knob, right here, and then you can mute. So the passenger has control. The driver has controls, of course, right here, up and down. You got this little like heartbeat turn signal, which is pretty cool that Mazda did that. To activate the auto high beam, you press that button here. It does have automatic wipers, just like before. Mirror is auto dimming, and the warning lights, the passenger light moved up here. And let's talk about this beautiful panoramic glass. So let me just close the lid here so you guys can kind of see what it looks like. Let me put the camera on that angle, and it goes all the way to the passenger's back, and then you press it once and the whole thing slides open. This reminds me I'm pretty sure it's the exact same unit out of the CX-50 and the CX-90, which is fine by me. The only thing is it does not open as much. It just opens that much, that here, that's it, which is unfortunate. So maybe Mazda later on in the future will reconfigure and make a different unit. Lighting, of course, is LED and the whole interior. This is how you activate it. That turns on with the door, and if you open it up, it just opens the door. You got sunglass holder right here. And that's pretty much it. And the visors, yep, the lights are LED. This is similar to, my 2019. That is pretty much it in the front. Let's jump real quick in the back seats. And then we go for a quick drive and my final thoughts. Stay tuned for that. Oh, and before I go in the back, you can customize the screen kind of like a cell phone with widgets in a PC. If you press this, so I have the efficiency screen, but if I want, let's say you want media, you can do media, and you can do, for some reason, a calendar, I guess. And then you press this guy here, and then it shows you the calendar, which I guess it doesn't do anything. Audio, media, and it removes the navigation screen as a widget, and then you can just go over here and you can put this one and delete it and put it back, and then you can just put navigation. Let's see if it does it. It's a little hard to get used to. It looks like I'm pressing anything because the video, but if I press this guy here, it does that. And then you can have also, you could do the vehicle background. You could turn that off and get rid of the car, or turn it back on and put the car back in it. So you could really customize this and really have fun with the screen and get rid of a lot of stuff, which again, this is very interesting to me and very different than the previous generation because it's all on the screen now. It will take time to get used to everything. Engine start button is right here. This one does have paddle shifters, which will shift the gas engine. That's it. Let's jump into the back. Oh, and the mirrors, they're shapely different, but this space right here, it looks like a little larger on both sides. And the tweeters moved from the A-pillar to here, the Bose tweeters. And that's pretty much it. Let's jump into the back seats, and then we go for a quick drive. Stay tuned for that. Okay, let's step into the back seats of the CX-5. Excuse my voice, I'm getting a little bug, but this is when you know the size of it. This door is absolutely huge, and it opens basically 90 degrees. This is easy to come in and out, bring your car seat, kids, everything. Super easy to use. The seats, just like the previous generation, they do recline one level there. I did notice on my driving it that the headrests now get in the way a little bit. You know, no big deal. The anchor points for the seats are here underneath these plastic covers all over the middle. And put that back in there. Center seat belt is in the middle, so there's nothing weirdness here. And this is where the magic happens. As you guys can see, I am 5'8". This is where you can really see how big the CX-5 got, which is excellent, absolutely excellent. The USB ports and seat controls were removed from, used to be in here, but now they're now here. So you got 3-level heated seats for both sides, USB-C ports now, which is nice, and you have, of course, climate vents. I don't know if these climate vents are standard on every single trim. You do have pockets behind each seat, right here. Super nice. That did not change. And here's a look at how the front looks like. And of course, being that panoramic glass does bring a lot of light in here. You still have 2 decent sized cup holders right here. You can put your armrests, and 2 people can fit comfortably here, even 3 if you're appropriate sizes. And this is what it looks like Headroom wise, if I tilt the seat, I have so much room underneath the front seat. I mean, it's amazing. Look at this. I can put my feet, I'm 5'8", and the seat is adjusted to how I drive. There's so much room. Of course, the windows are larger as well. Lighting, everything's LED. Mazda's not gonna have any problem making a lot of these and selling a lot of them. The design changes were nice. Yes, unfortunately, some of the materials got a little harder plastic, and that's unfortunate, but I know why they did it. I can see why they did it, because you have to cut costs somewhere in order to bring this vehicle to the States, because it is manufactured in Japan, not in the USA. It does have a, now new for 2026, Bose 12 speaker sound system instead of the old was 10. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, and this seat does fold. The 60/40, you pull this little string here, just like the previous generation, and then you have access to the trunk. If you have a long, weird, awkward item, you can just fold this guy or just fold that side and you'll be fine. And that is it from the back. Let's take the 2026 Mazda CX-5 for my first drive and final thoughts. Stay tuned for that. All right, let's drive the 2026 Mazda CX-5. This is a Premium Plus, and there is no turbo model yet because there's no turbo model anymore because the turbo model is no longer available. Like I said, for full transparency, I am a proud owner of the second generation CX-5, and I love mine. I absolutely love mine. Has been bulletproof reliable. It has never ever let me down, and it has this exact same engine and transmission, which again, I know everybody on the internet is losing their minds because, oh my God, the turbo one is gone. Oh, it's so slow. It's not slow, which again, it's not slow. I drive mine. My wife drives it. She doesn't has felt that she can't merge or pass anybody. The major difference between previous generation and this one, I've noticed immediately, it is more comfortable. The suspension is more compliant. It's less jarring than the previous generation. Again, the seats are not as bolstered and heavy sport, driven, even though Mazda, of course, cares about driving. The seats, of course, they're a little bit more toned down. This is a new color for 2026, the interior color, this cream, beige looking interior, which is nice. And for me, it puts a smile on my face because it's like coming home. It's like coming home to me because I own the previous generation, and it's been great. It's been absolutely great for 7 years. Super reliable drivetrain, which I understand why Mazda kept it. And in terms of the driving feel and the DNA and the soul of a CX-5, I'm happy to report, oh, that's my tripod rolling around back there. I'm happy to report that the soul is still there. This is still a CX-5. It still handles great, which we'll go over more on the highway section. It is, again, a little quieter, a little smoother than the previous generation. I do feel like I'm sitting a little taller than the previous generation. And again, that graphic with that car is kind of hilarious because, and if I put it on here, it actually shows you what I'm driving, which is comical to see that. You can see the car driving. But anyway, let's go into the highway. I don't like the I-loop thing, the I-stop thing. I absolutely despise that. And I don't like the fact that this one has it. I wish Mazda would have gotten rid of that, but let's jump into the highway here real quick. And let me put it in sport mode, which you can do two ways. You can do it on the screen, or you could do it here on the steering wheel. And there, put it in sport mode. And stepping on it, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. The transmission is doing its thing in sport mode. It's cooking. No complaints whatsoever. So is it slower? No, it's not slower. People who review this car on YouTube and media do not own and live with a CX-5. I have lived with mine for 7 years. Again, sorry for being repetitive, broken record, but it's fine. Anyway, using Mazda's new cruise control, which is also adaptive, and for the first time in a CX-5, it actually has lane keep technology. So if I just do this and I look forward while I'm driving and do not look away, it should keep looking forward, and it's yelling at me to hold the steering wheel. But for the most part, it does a great job of mitigating the lanes, and as you guys can see, it's turning and following the road, which is super cool. And again, the head-up display, it's hard to pick up on camera. The resolution is excellent. It's absolutely excellent. The new font, it's larger, it's bigger. I'm gonna say, I'll insert the number. It looks like a 10-inch head-up display compared to the previous generation. And I'm gonna change lanes here, and let me change the screen to the driving screen, which actually shows representation of the cars in front of itself. I don't know if the camera's gonna pick that up, but there's a car coming now in my right, in my left, and it's seeing the car in front and it's slowing down because that person is driving slower than me. This car does have active lane change, and look at that. It did it. That is pretty cool. And that's also new for 2026. It has active lane change, and it's cool that it did it on command. So let me try that again. And yep, it's doing it. It did it, which is pretty cool. That of course comes in handy if you're on long drives, whatever, long road trip, and you're driving up and down. But I'm very, very impressed. And I can say as an owner of a CX-5, the DNA, the soul of a CX-5 is all here. It's just updated, it's changed. It changed where it needed to be. The cargo area is larger. The people room is larger. It's a bigger CX-5 in every single way, but at the same time, it didn't turn into a bus. It's, you know, a good size. It's still manageable. It's still tossable. And yeah, I think Mazda did a great job. Now there's no complaint. I think this might be the biggest screen in the industry, because 15.9, it's almost like a laptop screen. And that's what people want. People want big screens, so Mazda did it. And you have to stay competitive. You have to watch the market. Competitors do not have a screen this big. I don't think in any competitor. I think the biggest on the Toyota RAV4, it's about 10 inches or so, not this large. So it is definitely one of the biggest, if not the biggest, in the class. I love the panoramic glass. I think it's a great feature. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. This has been my very first look and full review of the all-new 2026 Mazda CX-5. This is again Premium Plus. The only real option this has is the color, which is $595. But everything else, Premium Plus comes very, very fully loaded as is. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all on the next one. And let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let me know if you like it, if you don't like it, what do you like, what do you don't like. Are you keeping yours if you have one, or you thinking about upgrading to this one? Me personally, I am possibly waiting for the 2027 model year because they're going to introduce the hybrid version, like I mentioned earlier in the video. I want to wait for that one, not because of the power, because it will be more powerful than this one, more because of the fuel efficiency that it's going to have. Hopefully it's great. But anyway, that's all for now, and I will see you on the next one. Take care and stay safe.